Hello everyone, and welcome to the Complete Python Programming course. In this video, we'll talk about dictionaries. This video is part of the beginner's tutorial. If you are familiar with dictionaries, also known as associative arrays, and looking for more in-depth information about dictionaries and their implementation, please see my Python dictionaries video under the intermediate level. A dictionary is a key value pair store. Think of it as a map between the key and the value. The dictionary key is similar to the index of the list. Let's create a dictionary. Friends equals curly brackets or braces and the values, keys and values. James at example.com, David and David at example.com, Mary at example.com. Notice the syntax: James, colon, and the value, key, colon, value. To make it easier, you could arrange the dictionary this way. It's very common to use one entry per line. That makes it much easier to read in the code. Let's print our dictionary. Python 3 main.py, and we run our program. Oh, I didn't run. Print friends and we run our program, and Python printed my dictionary James, David, and Mary. To access a dictionary value, we need the key. To access James, friends, brackets, and the key of the value you want to access. Let's run this, and it should return James at example.com. Adding new values to your dictionary is simple. Friends Lisa equals Lisa at example.com. Notice that I used the equal operator with the way I used to access my values. What happens here? Python will go to your dictionary and search for the value Lisa. If it's not found, it will add new key to your dictionary and add its value as the value you supplied. To update a value in your dictionary, friends David equals David at example.net. Let's print that. Print friends. Now, we need friends here instead of friend. Let's run our code. And notice that James is not changed. David is now changed. Now, we added also Lisa. In previous Python, you couldn't depend on dictionaries for order, but in new Python, you are guaranteed that the values are displayed in the order they are inserted. We'll talk about that later. Notice that the value of David was updated to .NET. I created a dictionary. After that, I added Lisa. After that, in my dictionary, I used David and changed it to .NET instead of .com. Let's take the second case. Friends David equals David as example.com. What happens here? Python goes to your dictionary it found David and it will just override the older value with the new value. In the case of Lisa, it goes to your dictionary, there is no entry Lisa, so it will just add a new entry at the end and call it lisa@example.com. Now we know how to add and update a dictionary value by its key. Let's see how we can delete values from our dictionary. Let's take Lisa and put it up there. Notice something is a very good practice to add a comma after the last entry in your dictionary or list to not do any harm, but when you try to add new values, sometimes you forget to add a comma, and it's very good to have it already in there. To delete a dictionary value, you need its key. So del friends, it's a friends, and Mary. The delete statement can be used to delete values or entries from dictionary using the key. Let's print friends after deleting Mary. And Python printed my dictionary minus the entry for Mary equals Mary@example.com. As this is a beginner tutorial, I will avoid talking about the delete statement for now. We'll talk about it in much more details in later videos. For now, you just need to know that you can delete a value from your dictionary using its key, using the delete statement. We can also loop our dictionaries for name in, or you can call it friend in friends, friend. Notice that when we loop lists, we got the value with each iteration. In the case of dictionaries, Python will return the key. We loop the keys instead of the values. But if you have the key, you can access the value very easy. You have the key. How do we access a value by its key? Friends and the key. James, for example. Here you have the key with each iteration. You can use it, friends, and the key inside it. This would return the key and value. The value for each key in your dictionary is as simple as that. Another way of accessing your dictionary values be using the values. Notice that for friend in friends, values will return the value instead of the key. Friends.values parentheses. Let's try that. For email, in friends values, and let's print email. Let's run that. And Python returned the emails the same as we did in the previous example. Python also allows you to access the key and the value at the same time. To iterate, key, value, friends, items. The items return two values, key and value, so you have to have two of these here, two variables to hold the returned value from the items, key and value. You can call these anything you want, the name and email, and that would work. And you can print the name and email, and this will print them each on its own line. James, David, Mary, and Lisa with email after each entry. You can also use the len function to return the length of your dictionary. Friends and print friends, and let's run that, and Python will return 4. We have 4 values in our dictionary. If we add a new value, friends Carol equals Carol at example.com, it will be returned in the length, and your new length will be 5 for this dictionary. The delete method we mentioned a few minutes ago, delete friends, and you can give it an index to delete, and it will remove the value and the key at that index. How about running the delete method on the entire dictionary? Delete friends. Let's try to print friends after that and see what happens. Friends. Notice that once I run this code, just to clear the screen, and Python is telling me name friends is not defined. The delete methods remove the entire dictionary, not a value, and it didn't empty it, it just removed the entire dictionary. This is something you usually don't do in languages like Python. Instead, if you want to remove all the values from your dictionary, in other words, if you want to empty it, you would use friends.clear. This will remove all the values from your dictionary, and you still have the dictionary. You can use it after that to add new values. Let's see something else. In our previous lesson with lists, we saw that we have an extend method for list, which actually add a list to another list. Friends dot extend with another dictionary wouldn't work. Let me clear that a little bit. Carol, and let's remove Carol altogether. Let's create another dictionary. Friends 1 equals, let's add Susan, and let's add Susan as phone number only instead of typing an entire email. And let's add also Thomas, and let's add just another number. Dictionaries don't have extend method. For dictionaries, we used an update method. For lists, extend, you extend one list with another. For dictionaries, use the update method to update a dictionary with another dictionary. Let's try that. Friends1 is another dictionary, and let's run the update on that. Friends1, and let's print friends. Let's see what that returns. And Python returned a new dictionary. Actually, it returned my friends dictionary. It's not a new one, it's the same dictionary, friends, updated with all the values from friends1. Of course, friends1 print friends1 is not altered in any way. What Python did, scanned friends1, took all the values and added them to my friends dictionary. Notice that friends1 is exactly the same. Friends, it changed to become a dictionary with all the previous values plus the 2 new values. One last thing I would like to talk about before we end this video. Let's remove these. I'm going to create new var. I will call it a var for now, and I would like this var to be sorted of friends. That should be clear enough. Sorted, friends sorted should be assigned to new var, and let's print new var. Sorting is very important. We'll talk about it in much more details in the future, but for now we need to know that we can sort a dictionary. Let's run our code and see what that prints. Clear, and let's run our code, and notice that it sorted my dictionary by keys. Now we have David, James, Lisa, and Mary. But notice that new var is actually a list, not a dictionary. Python took my friends, extracted the key, sorted them, and returned them to the variable. They are a list, not a dictionary. You can, if you wanted, sorted by the value instead of the key, friends values sorted, it will return a list of the values sorted by the key. It's all by the value. It's always a list, not a dictionary. But if you have the key, you can access the value from that. There are much more information about dictionaries we can talk about, but for now, let's leave it at that because this is a beginner tutorial. One practical use for dictionaries is, for example, you are working on application and you could create something like database configuration. You would see that very often, and this looks like a dictionary where you store the host and you just 192.168.1.1 and you store the port. This is very common in applications, 2345 and username and password, and this is one use for a dictionary, and then you can use these and pass them to your connection statement and it will connect you to your database. Now there are many other uses. We will see them in better examples. I don't like generic examples. I would like to see them in much more real examples to have an idea of how to use them in our code. Create some dictionaries, try to see what you can with them. For example, my dictionary here has keys here and values. Create one dictionary where the keys are numbers, try to interact with that. Make the values number, try to interact with that, and try to have fun with it. If you like my videos, support the channel by subscribing. Until next time, have a great time.